Hi there, I'm Lisa Dino and wanted to give you a little recap of our experience with the Ultimate Reset. I've got with me my husband. I've done the reset 3 times. This was my 4th round and I finally got him to jump on board with me. So thought I would give you an opportunity to get the male perspective of the Ultimate Reset. But first, just wanted to share real quickly a little bit about what the Ultimate Reset is, and I'll be really brief. But the Ultimate Reset is a 21-day cellular detox, and what's involved is no starvation, not having to hang out by the bathroom all the time. It's a very gentle cleanse to remove the toxins that we are breathing in and eating every single day, which is unfortunate, but that is the society in which we live. So there's 3 phases in the Ultimate Reset. There's the reclaim phase, release, and then we also have the restore phase. So, Tim, question and answer time. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So, which week of those 3 did you enjoy the most?
Probably week 2.
Okay, why is that?
Well, the first week you're just getting into it, and so it's kind of like a transition phase from old life to new life. And then the last week is one of the hardest, so I picked week 2.
Okay. Was there a meal or recipe out of week 2 that you liked the most?
Probably the sweet potato bisque, red pepper sweet potato bisque.
That's definitely one of our favorite recipes, that's for sure. So, what did you miss most in doing the reset? Because we're pretty big meat eaters around here, so, and pizza eaters, so.
Yeah, probably week 3 when you're eating nothing but vegetables for 7 days, almost every meal. So,
fruits too. Fruits and vegetables.
A little bit of fruit and vegetables. We didn't have a lot of fruit.
Right, but we still.
Because we substitute, because fruits were always breakfast, and we always did Shakeology for breakfast, so we really didn't have many fruits.
No, just what we added in our Shakeology.
Yeah.
Which I added a lot of fruit in my Shakeology. Okay, so tell us about your results. I'm sure that's something everybody out there is going to want to hear. What kind of results did you get?
I had good results. I lost 10 pounds and about 9 inches, 3 inches off my waist. So very, very good, and good start to being able to lose some weight for summer.
That's great. And so what are your goals? So why did you want to do this? Why did you do the reset other than me prodding you?
I definitely needed to lose some weight. I had a knee injury last year and wasn't able to exercise as much as I probably should have. And this was a good time to get it going and lose about 16 or so pounds.
Okay, so that's your end goal, 16 pounds?
Yeah. And
so were you having some issues as of the first of the year before we started this? Because when did we start this? February something or another?
Yeah, it was the end of January.
End of January? And so, starting around the 1st of January, what kind of health issue were you having?
Yeah, I was having trouble sleeping, had a bad case of insomnia. So, that was pretty disturbing.
And so, how many hours of sleep were you sleeping each night?
I don't know, 3 to 4, 2 to 3, depending on the night.
And how many do you normally sleep?
I like a good solid 8.
Yeah, so it's big difference.
Big difference.
Insomnia husbands make grumpy husbands, so you want to fix those as quickly as you can. So the reset was a good way to get that back. So how far into the reset did you start sleeping again then?
Probably the end of the first week.
Yeah.
Took a while to get it going, but probably by the end of the first week I was sleeping pretty well.
Yeah, that's great. So any other experiences physically on how you felt or emotionally?
I also was a big coffee drinker, so, caffeine was part of my life. But I was able to get through that pretty well and don't miss it too much. So.
Okay, and so it's important to know that we're now almost 2 weeks post-reset, and you are supposed to add foods back kind of slowly, and depending on what your goals are, and if you may have potentially issues with sensitivities to foods, you want to add back even slower. And I've learned a lot about myself and issues that I have with foods in doing the reset. So what have you added back? What was like the first thing that you added back?
I think the first week back, rice and beans.
Yeah.
Was the first thing that I added back, and then slowly went to eggs, and then probably after 2 weeks started adding some real protein like chicken and turkey, ground turkey. So
Yeah. And have you done any of the turkey slices or clean turkey slices that we get?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. After the second week off.
Okay. And then what about coffee? Are you going to go back to coffee?
I don't know. I might, but
Okay.
clearly not as much.
Okay.
Definitely cut back, but we'll see.
And so I know that pizza and beer are also all-time favorites of yours. And not just, a canned beer, but
good beer.
The good IPA beer.
Yeah.
So what about that? What do you see in your future? For everyone to hear. We have witnesses.
Well, I'm not going to quit drinking beer if that was your question.
I just wanted to see where you take it.
And I'm not giving up pizza either.
Okay.
But I'll try not to eat a whole pizza.
That's good. And the beer? Because let's be honest. You come home from work and you have at least a couple of beers every night.
Nah, not all.
Really? You want to argue?
Not a couple. Not at least a couple. At least maybe one.
At least one.
At least one.
In a tall glass.
It's one beer.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? Pour half a beer?
Sure. You got a growler. Okay, so at least one beer.
At least one beer.
So, and are you going to go back to drinking one beer every
Probably
night?
not. Probably not.
Okay. All right. That's good.
But it's not going to be zero either.
I know that.
Okay.
I'm aware of that. So, you've been watching me do the reset multiple times. You finally jumped on board. Yep. And so what would your sentiments be to anybody else as far as your advice on whether or not to do it, or whether you think it's a great thing or not? What do you think?
Yeah, I've had a great experience. If you're looking at it for a couple things that are real positive out of it. First of all, if you had some goals to get in shape, it's a very good start to the whole process. And we're doing another program now, but we won't get into that now. But it's a good first step. There's really no exercise during the reset, so it's not like you're doing a exercise program. So it's all about eating and food, eating and what you put in. The other thing I would say is it gives you a good balance of what a balanced food diet really is like. So taking out all the stuff of all the chips and the beer and the pizza. So it's very informational from that perspective as well.
Yeah. And so have you been able to isolate a particular food or drink that you think is your nemesis? Because I know mine. But do you know what yours is?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think I've been able to find out.
Okay. Well, and you haven't added a whole lot back yet either with the program that we've started now. So great. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you finally did it with me.
Me too.
And it really has, for me, it's been a huge difference in having him on board with me and doing it together as opposed to me doing it alone. And in week 2, they would eat my son and my husband both would eat week 1 food with me. But then when we would get to week 2, it would be just me and they'd get pizza and he'd be
definitely
drinking beer.
Definitely by week 3 we would be out.
Oh, yeah, they were totally out by week 3. But they'd make cheeseburgers and pizza, and so that made it a whole lot harder for me. But it was a lot better experience for me, not only the support, but also he helped in the kitchen, which was a big help as well, and I appreciate that. So that is our recap from the Ultimate Reset. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to give us a shout. Thanks.